Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a very quick look at a couple of questions where we're working with temperature tables. I've also put some timestamps in the description for all the different questions that we're going to be looking at. So you can jump from question to question as you wish. Okay, so let's take a look at this first question. So we've got that the table shows the temperature in 4 cities on a day in February. So we've got Cardiff at 2 degrees Celsius, San Diego at -1 degree Celsius, Kyoto at 4 degrees Celsius, and Bergen at -5 degrees Celsius. So for part A, we need to write down the name of the city with the lowest temperature. So what we're doing here is looking down our temperature column, we're looking for the smallest number. Well, we can see here we've got 2 positive numbers, 2 negative numbers. The smallest out of -1 and -5 is that -5. So for this one, the city with the lowest temperature would actually be Bergen. Okay, now for part B, we need to work out the difference between the temperature in San Diego and the temperature in Kyoto. Well, we can see the temperature in San Diego is -1 degree Celsius, and the temperature in Kyoto is 4 degrees. So to find the difference in temperature, one way we can do this is count up from the lowest temperature up to the highest. So the lowest temperature being San Diego at -1. Well, we could do this in a more visual way on a number line. We know from -1 to 0, all we have to do is add 1. And then to get from 0 to 4, all we have to do is add 4. So adding those two numbers together, we've got 1, add 4 would give us 5. So the difference in temperature there would actually be 5 degrees Celsius. Another way we can do this to find the difference between two numbers is actually to do the biggest number, take away the smallest number. So we could have done 4, as that's the larger number, take away, then we're taking away this -1. So we've got 4 take away -1. Well, a negative and a negative make a positive. So 4 take away -1 is actually the same as 4 plus 1, as I can convert those two negative signs into a plus. So we'd have 4 plus 1, which again is going to give us 5. And then for the last part of this question, we're told that the next day the temperature in Bergen increases by 3 degrees Celsius. We need to work out the new temperature in Bergen. So the starting temperature was -5. It's then increased by 3 degrees. So that means we're going to add 3 onto this -5. Well, again, we can think of this like on a number line. We're at -5. We're adding 3. So we're still in the negative number side. That would actually be -2. So the new temperature in Bergen would be -2 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that's the final answer for this question. Let's take a look at one more final example. So feel free to pause the video here and have a go at this question, and we'll go through the solutions in just a few moments. Okay, so for this particular question, we've got that the table shows the temperature at midnight and midday on the 1st of January 2021 in 4 cities. So for part A, we need to write down the name of the city with the lowest midnight temperature. So again, all we're going to do is look down our column for the midnight temperatures. We've got -8 for Murmansk, -2 for Budapest, 6 for Paris, and -5 for Prague. So we're looking for the lowest temperature, so the smallest number out of them all would be that -8, which is Murmansk. So that would be our answer for part A. Okay, for part B, we need to figure out which city had the greatest rise in temperature from midnight to midday. So now we can figure out the increase in temperature for all of these cities. So if we look at Murmansk, the midnight temperature was -8, and then at midday it actually rose to -5. So again, we can think of this on a number line. To get from -8 to -5, we're adding 3. So the temperature would have risen 3 degrees. Now for Budapest, at midnight it was -2, and in midday it was 6. So again, visualizing that on a number line, from -2 to 0 is an increase of 2 degrees. We're then increasing by another 6 degrees. So in total, that'd be an increase of 8 degrees. In Paris, the midnight temperature was 6 degrees, and the midday temperature was 9 degrees. So this one would have risen by 3 degrees. And then finally for Prague, The midnight temperature was -5, and by midday it's risen to 2 degrees. So again, from -5 to 0 is 5 degrees. We're then adding on another 2, so in total that has risen by 7 degrees. So looking back at what we've just figured out, both Murmansk and Paris rose by 3 degrees from midnight to midday. Prague rose by 7 degrees, and the city that had the greatest rise in temperature was actually Budapest with 8 degrees. That would be our answer for part B. And finally, for part C, we've got that at midnight, how many degrees cooler was Murmansk than Paris? So we're looking at the midnight temperatures. So we want to see how much colder was Murmansk, so that was -8 at midnight, than Paris, which was 6 degrees at midnight. So to figure out how many degrees colder Murmansk was than Paris, we're actually looking for the difference. So again, we can visualize this with a number line. We want to find the difference between -8 and 6. Well, I can go from -8 to 0 by adding 8. And then I can go from 0 to 6 by adding 6. So adding those two numbers together, 8 add 6 is 14. So the difference in temperature there would have been 14 degrees Celsius. Again, to figure out the difference between these two numbers, we could have done just like we did before, where we take the larger number and then take away the smaller number. So the larger number here would have been 6. We're then taking away the smaller number, so we're subtracting -8. So 6 take away -8. We can change those two negatives into a plus. So that's the same as 6 plus 8, which again would give us our answer of 14. So well done if you followed along with those questions. And that's it for this video. If you want to check out any other videos on working with positive and negative numbers, then I'll leave some links for them down in the description. And I'll also put a card in the top corner. So feel free to check them out. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing. If there are any topics at all that you'd like me to go through next, then please just let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to make some videos on those topics as soon as possible. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.